All righty, folks. Looks like we're going to have to do abbreviated version of the program. Just not going to be denied tonight. I don't care what it happens. Really irritates me. Some people like me have to fight and fight and fight to get ahead in this world, and I'm just not going to give up. Other people born on third base. They're just born on third. They got the yellow brick road, and it's never been me. But that's life. Hopefully, Mad New Yorker come up here and we'll finish out this program at abbreviated version here. Let's see. Now I got to bring him in. If I can figure out how to do this, we will get it on here. On here. If I can, let's see. Mad New Yorker. Where are you at, Mad New Yorker? Add to state. Hey, Carlos.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're doing abbreviated. Just doing it on the phone here. Before I tell this thing all the hell, I'm so ticked off right now. I can just scream. But like I was saying before you got on here, man, some people in life have to just do. Other people are born on third base. They have the yellow brick road. Guys like us, we just got to fight for every freaking yard, man. You're like a team with the no offensive line, But anyways, before I've been wanting to ask you for 2 weeks. Don't you think that the Hulk Hogan death, isn't that like a part of an era for people our age where I'm sure you or somebody you knew got in trouble for wrestling? Emulating wrestling moves you saw in the 80s when you were 6, 7 years old, or even got hurt. My uncle broke my arm because I was begging him to body slam me. I was a young kid, and you emulate guys like that. When he died, it was kind of almost like an end of an era. Because remember, they went national just a few years into the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, when Vince McMahon took over. Remember, it was regional wrestling before that. So really taken off. What's your thoughts about that era? And of course, just the death of Hulk Hogan, since we've not been able to talk about that.
Yeah, so I grew up in Europe, and when I got
into the military, wasn't he?
Yeah, when I got into the States in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, they had like the TBS and all those channels, that cable that they didn't have available in Europe. Wrestling would come on Saturday mornings, and it was different. It was I think everybody watched it because you only had a couple channels anyway, and if you were up in the morning, then you would watch it after Saturday cartoons.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's an end of an era, and also just it's an eye-awakening experience because people our age, we're just starting to see our idols slowly, we're losing our
to it at any point when you were just a little kid.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had a little brother, and I messed around with him and we did silly things, and you'd jump off the couch, like you were jumping off the top of the rope and stuff like that, and but I want to say this about the man. He did wrestling what Michael Jordan did to basketball.
Yeah, for the NBA, didn't he?
Yeah, so he and even when Vince McMahon was mad at him and kicked him off,
yeah,
and he went to to the other federation, the other wrestling organization, like the same thing. The thing is, a guy like him, he brought it 100%, man, and he had a back end too, he had the fan base, but it was just something different from a kid that's Hispanic, first generation American, to see this kind of new, different type of entertainment, sports entertainment. It was just different. It was a slice of pie that you wasn't expecting for dessert.
Yeah.
And, it's good old American, part of American culture. And like, it's tough, man. Cause reality's set in. We're older. Anything can happen to us at any moment. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. And it's part of history too, So, and one of the things that was hard for me to hear is that as old as he was getting, still involved in wrestling and trying to do new things because he still didn't think that what Vince McMahon has, what they're doing now, is the way wrestling should do things, and he didn't get that opportunity to start that different venture that he had going on. So, he's what entertainment wrestling is about. So,
I think there's no Rock. I don't think Rock gets to that stardom without a Hulk. It's like Hogan laid the groundwork.
Right.
He played in Rocky 2. Nobody thought that would work, but it did. You know,
did, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like in fact, when I saw Rocky 2, I didn't know he was a wrestler. I thought he was a boxer. So when I came from Europe and I saw him, I was like, why does he keep picking people up? Why are they slamming each other? Why are they not boxing? They're in a ring and they're not boxing. So all those things were new to me. And he did his due diligence. He did his work, right? As it kind of sucks that he has family issues, but everybody does. But he was always on camera, and he always mentioned too that if people call him Hulk, he stayed in character, and if people called him Terry, he knew he could relax and be friends with people. And I think that's pretty awesome. That's an awesome thing to do, because if somebody knows you for being famous and for your character, he made them feel like that they were a part of what he was about, and that's important if you're a man of the people, right? He was a man of the people, so
I think he was, yeah.
It was pretty tough to hear. The younger people will never know or get to see what it was really like. What they're fans and they can watch YouTube, but you got to be there, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about these WrestleManias getting all filled up and the fan base, and I've talked to people that went to WrestleMania, and it's just like, I don't know, they talk about it as if they visit another country, and it's remarkable, like the event, how big it can get. And Hulk Hogan was part of that, and it's a sad time, but it's it's a good thing that he was able to do what he did for wrestling. So he's definitely going to be missed for sure.
Definitely be missed. Well said, brother. I've been wanting to get your opinion for weeks on that. I bet you're thinking, why does he keep texting me thoughts on Hulk Hogan and never asked about thoughts on Hulk Hogan?
And the worst part is you're making me feel bad, man, because I'm like, man, I feel bad for old Terry, like I know him, right? Like I just shake my head like, I feel bad.
You know the guy,
But that's the thing I'm saying, is like everybody knows or knew who he was, who was in our age group and has caught wrestling. Yeah. Even a little piece of it, him against Andre Giant, him against Warrior, him against Ric Flair. Like, you've caught him. If you're in our age bracket, you have caught him in one of those like big matches, like at least one, and you was interested in at least one of those. So I don't know, what's your favorite matchup that you got to catch, like either live or on TV?
For some reason, I didn't. My step grandmother, Helen, of course, my mom knows, she was like a grandmother to me, and she would actually order like WrestleMania. She would actually order that stuff in the 80s, and somehow I did not get a chance to see Hogan and Andre the Giant live. But my mom, a few years later, rented it on VHS, and I watched Andre the Giant and Hogan, and it was probably my favorite one watching growing up. I just think about like the kids how many kids got in trouble, how many emergency rooms did mom had to take sons to for breaking their arms, or like you said, jumping off the top rope, getting hurt, or just getting in trouble for horseplaying with your friends in the backyard or in your room, like a sleepover.
Robert, people still do it. Look at the Buffalo. Look at the mafia.
Yeah.
They still throwing themselves on tables, man.
They jump off tables. I did want to ask you about this Shedeur Sanders thing. Speaking of flashbacks and stuff, Had a great week. I don't have my stats in front of me, but basically 2 touchdowns, 61% completion percentage for Shedeur Sanders. Pro Football Focus, I heard this morning, best rating on him as the college as the rookie quarterback's preseason game 1. It's just one game. Of course, now he's got an oblique muscle tear. What are your thoughts about his play first, and I'll get into some of the other stuff a little bit.
Yeah, I think you and I were on the same page when we thought that he should have been at least picked up before the second round started.
Yeah, yes.
He was not, and I think he's going to be an okay quarterback, and maybe if they don't give him the opportunity or he doesn't play well into some schemes, he might end up being a backup quarterback. But It's still kind of too early to tell. I said that they were shopping him, so that's why they played him. And I think that's still true.
Maybe on something there after I play this other part.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to happen, but he's an okay.
He's going to make it in the NFL judged based on that?
I don't know. It's hard because there's a lot of young quarterbacks that have had good outings in preseason football. And so preseason football is way different than regular season football. And I can't sit here and say he's going to be the next, Michael Vick or anybody else, or even a Warren Moon or whatever, because he is not a white quarterback. He's a Black American quarterback. And I'm not sure what kind of schemes that these quarterback coaches are going to put him in to either make him successful or not work with what his skill set is. So if anything is detrimental to a team, it's having that knucklehead coach who doesn't want to make those changes to have his quarterback with his skill level work his talent. And one of the best examples is Lamar Jackson. He had a knucklehead offensive coordinator. They didn't let him throw the ball as much, and and since he's been gone, Lamar Jackson can actually throw a football, and he's actually pretty decent. And
this guy's a processor. I think that
the Ravens are
like Jackson. He's more like maybe a Brady. His style is when he shifts in the pocket. He's got excellent what's the word? Not alertness. Processing skills. Quick release processing skills. He's got that. But I gotta play you this bit, and I think I've got it here on the phone. I'm going to be able to bring it up. Can you still hear me, Carlos?
Yeah, I heard you. I'm hearing you right now.
Okay, I'm going to try to get one of these clips here to come on here, if I can get them to go without screwing things up again, because I saved it into my phone. Okay, here we go. Going down here now and want to see if that will play or not, but maybe they will, maybe they won't. I may have deleted
Full-time
them.
WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for.
No, that's really Shane Gillis. It's too funny here. I would, you know what? I probably won't be able to play it. Jeez, go figure. I thought I had it saved. I may have deleted them, but basically he had his brother record him confront, and you've probably seen it. Everybody's seen it. A radio guy. Now, mind you, this is one, like you said, it's one preseason game. They ain't played. You think he won the Super Bowl,
right?
Why is his brother in the locker room? I don't know, but he's recording him confronting this Cleveland radio guy about his criticisms, of Deion, about his of Shedeur, kind of in a jokingly manner. That rubs me the wrong way. That's very Antonio Brown. I mentioned this yesterday's program where Antonio Brown live streaming during Mike Tomlin's speech. Maybe not to that extent, but the guy's a rookie quarterback. Why do you want to draw that kind of attention to yourself? What's your thoughts on that aspect and all that surrounding it?
Yeah, I mean, look, he needs to just focus on football and just being in the mindset of trying to be the next quarterback when he's available. I don't all this other stuff. He needs to just let it ride, let it go out.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time for him to be that.
Tony, I be hoping you be. Tony, I be hoping you got something positive to say about me. You only say negative stuff about me, and I'm like, I ain't do nothing to you. No, I ain't see nothing positive that you ever said. I think I'm positive every day.
Yeah, so he starts laughing and stuff. And, that's the actual clip there, man. Like you said, focusing on football and not that stuff. Isn't that part of the reason why he dropped to the 5th round?
Right. There was a lot of different things that was going on, that were said on, about him, that he has said or that he has brought up. I just think this is just too much. Like, keep it X and O's, keep it black and white, and just focus, man. Focus on being the best and best quarterback available. That's all you should be thinking. And get into the gym and get into the playbooks and get into the practice field. Like, a lot of people don't get the opportunity that this guy has, and I just hope he changes his mind and focuses on the opportunity that he has and takes advantage of it. But I'm not saying he can't have fun. I'm sure that's kind of the fun, like the kind of fun he likes to have, because he's actually a smart person.
Yeah.
But sometimes they like some of the things I've seen on TikTok and YouTube about him doing small things and things that are dumb. Like, I think that's part of his personality too. I mean, it is what it is, and people have their own,
character. They move him because of this. So do you think that they'll move off of him? Do you still think they'll probably trade him?
I think if they move him, it's not because of the character and the person that he is. If they move him, is because they're trying to make moves and make money. Cleveland's always been about trying to sell jerseys, and they haven't really gotten a team together that's been focused enough to be a playoff team. And when they did have that focus, they didn't have enough depth and were injury riddled. So, it's tough. But that's football, right? It's entertainment for a reason. And I just wish he was more football than he was entertainment at this moment, because I would like to see him succeed, and I'd like to see him on another team and try to be a starting quarterback more than I'd like to see other young guys who are starting quarterbacks right now in the league.
You're like Bill Parcells, the 11 quarterback commandments. One of them is don't be a celebrity. Don't.
That's tough.
I mean, I just think he could do that stuff outside the locker room. I mean, he's bringing his brother in the locker. How did that even happen?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he has as far as like availability for his family member to be in the locker room. But, when you even talk about some of these quarterbacks that were great, and they mention like how they're at home, and you're like, wow, this guy's like plain, just boring and simple. But sometimes you need that. You need to focus on nothing at home, so that when you're on the field and in the books, and you're 100% focused on that. So, I just think he needs to get somebody in there that can help mentor him and help him figure out what it's like to be an NFL quarterback, right?
Right. Let me play you this. I think this is the right clip. This is like father, like son. This is from Deion Sanders confronting a critic back in 1992. If I'm not mistaken, stand by. I'm going to take a gamble with this clip real quick.
Right, Deion Sanders apparently upset with Tim McCarver's criticisms of his two-sport day last Sunday. Felt like he would gain a measure of revenge, not with champagne, but by dousing McCarver with 4 tubs of ice water. McCarver was furious. So was CBS Sports. Rick Gentile, their producer, complained to National League President Bill White last night. McCarver wants a meeting with White as soon as he can get one. And after this confrontation, Tim McCarver confronted Sanders.
Tom is right here. Right now. Here you go. I got a real man. You know that? Yes. You are a real man, Deion. I'll say that.
Uh, and it's not that bad, but like father, like son. Do you recall that from maybe the Dion documentary, the 30 for 30, or do you remember that when that happened back in '92?
I remember seeing him wet and doing those interviews, and I was like, I thought he was part of the party, part of the celebration. But
yeah, but looking back, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think we saw that clip, or that wasn't available to us until after that. But look, I don't know. I can't sit here and say that Dion and Shador are the same, one and the same as far as their character or having fun or being playful or any of that. I do remember that he was on the Yankees team and he was boisterous. He was very out lavish and very, he's very outright about what he wanted. He wanted a big contract, and he said that. And then on top of that, it's like, and he was going to play football and baseball because he didn't care what anybody said. He was very like straightforward about that. And for that reason, I think that, they didn't want him on the team. They wanted him to play baseball. They wanted him not to be someone playing football and getting an injury and maybe not being able to come back to play baseball. So, and just the way he said it, I think didn't rub this guy the right way. The owner of the Yankees, the boss,
George Steinbrenner.
Yeah, Steinbrenner the right way. So, his character had a lot to do with, how he was, had a lot to do with what the owner's idea was of him not wanting to be on the team, even though the GM and Steinbrenner were at ends with each other about giving Dion a deal. So, but listen, Shador's, again, he's just playing football and he's considered a 5th round pick. I'm sure he's going to want money too wherever he goes, but that this is his first steps into the NFL, and he should just try to be as straight and narrow as possible. And there's nothing I can say that I don't think that maybe he's trying, but then also he's gonna be himself as well. And nobody says that you can't be yourself, but I just feel like you can leave that for later. Like you said,
there's some decorum there. And you think Dad would learn from that lesson and pass it down to him how bad it looks. Now he's a step back. He's got this oblique injury, strain or whatever. He's not going to play against the Eagles this weekend. That's a bummer. I want the best for the guy. I like the way he processes plays. I didn't like the fact that Caleb Williams has been struggling in camp. And for whatever reason, to protect him or whatever, the Bears didn't play him. Cam Ward played like 2 series. He's a rookie. J.J. McCarthy, I think he played like 2 series with Minnesota. I talked about yesterday that these owners need to give a blessing to these coaches and general managers and say, listen, it's on me. It's on me if a player gets hurt in preseason. But if you feel like the player's not ready, it's not ready to perform at the highest level possible that you and I think he is, go ahead and play him. If he tears his ACL in the preseason, we're here to develop and play. We're not here to play scared. I think that teams are way too scared. Do you think that maybe they should play players more in the preseason who need, particularly I'm talking about 1st and 2nd year quarterbacks who may still be struggling and need to development? I think there's too much fear out there for injury. What are your thoughts on that? Would you be that owner to grant that blessing, or would you try to play it safe like that, like they have been doing, and be so limited like that?
Yeah, I think there's too many parts to this question to answer and to give the specific answer.
That's fine, man. That's fine.
What I will say is this: is like Ben Johnson's a new coach. He's in a heavy media spotlight in Chicago. If even if Caleb Williams went out there and got sacked again, they would have said something. If he didn't get sacked and he threw an interception, they would have said something. If he went out there and performed well and threw 4 touchdowns, they would have said something, and they would expect something else when he plays his first game. There's nothing that Caleb Williams is going to do in Chicago that anybody's going to be happy about. And
that's why he should play. I mean,
and what Ben Johnson did and what the Chicago Bears are doing, I feel like just trying to get their feet wet and to what's going on, and just not put too much on this guy too. Like last year, there was a lot put on Caleb Williams to do with the O-line. So this time he's got a foundation of a coach that's supposed to help him out. So just kind of write it out and see what it is. Is this, even if he's holding them out because he doesn't know a play or he doesn't understand the playbook yet, or he doesn't want to get whatever reason, I think that they have the perfect opportunity to do it this season because he is a new coach. And does it affect Caleb Williams? If it affects him a bad way for not getting enough reps, fine, whatever. If it affects him the better way for not getting injured and being able to learn more, fine. But it's just it's a catch-22, and you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And kudos to Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams for taking advantage of the situation, because owner wouldn't have cared either way, though.
Playing young quarterbacks more in the preseason and getting them developed when the games don't count, rather than doing it when they count, just because your fear of criticism of a player getting hurt in what some call a meaningless game. Where is this fear coming from? These coaches know if these players need more snap, more the better, right?
Yeah, I think first of all, the idea of development, I feel like is a different argument for another day. What I do know is that what I do understand as a fan and also as somebody who follows football is that the moment these guys report to any kind of camp is the moment that coaches hear about where the health status is of their players, especially a quarterback. If the quarterback has been heard that he's just getting back from a vacation and he was lollygagging and he can't even run a mile without taking hard breaths, that quarterback ain't starting. No matter what quarterback is not going to start in the preseason game, because you got to get back into like playing shape. And if you could just be doing exercises and not having to play and just getting back into shape. I'm
talking about guys that are ready to play. The fear of injury is overwhelming.
I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about like players that Matt Stafford's got a back injury.
Right.
Not even good players. But the idea that a young player, they're so afraid he's going to get injured during preseason and get criticism. Why don't the owner step in and say, hey, listen, you know this kid needs more snaps. I know this kid needs more snaps. We don't care what the media thinks.
Right.
We don't care what the fans think. I'm paying this guy to play, to get better. You got to get snaps to get better. So that's my whole point. Nothing to do with injuries or anything. No,
but I just think like when the coaches see these guys in any camp, the first camp that they see a quarterback that's young, and they see that he hasn't really been practicing much, or he's like, you already have a sense of like, okay, this guy needs to get his mind straight, his body straight. And on top of that, it would be embarrassing because these guys are going to be on film, just practice film, and you see them just like, oh, well, this guy can't, like, why is he only throwing 20 yards and not throwing 60 yards? And I'll tell you why, because he hasn't been lifting weights for 3 months because he's been out, having fun on the beach somewhere in Maui. That's
a whole different story there.
Yeah, but so I feel like
kind of look at what they're doing things, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I think the coaches know as soon as they hear or see these guys on the moment they come into camp, and that's what's going to determine at the end. And plus, it's so much a contract and money thing. If for a player to be on the field and for him to get some freak accident happen, that you're right. Coaches coaches are scared more than owners, because look, you need this guy. If he's who you're paying and he's the reason you win games, for example, Allen, Burrow, guys like Pat Mahomes, like those guys actually can determine and win the game. Like, you don't want them to get a freak accident. Look, a lot of things that happen in these
What happened week 1? You see what I'm saying? I
yeah,
mean,
I know, but a lot of just in training and in camps, one of the most freak accidents that happen that's very common is a lineman stepping on the quarterback's toes. Nobody ever talks about that, but that happens all the time. QBs don't say nothing.
that's the the sport that you signed up for. So
Right. But like again, like there's been quarterbacks in the past who haven't been able to start preseason games because they got a broke toe or they got a broke nail or for some reason they can't.
Hurt. And these guys come into the season sloppy looking. And I'm thinking, well, you only played him 2 series as if he's ready, and he's obviously not ready. Why didn't you play him more in the preseason? Why don't you give these guys more snaps? The more the better. I mean, Peyton Manning was told they could not practice on Saturday. Right. It was family day for the Colts. That's what Tony Dungy said. But Manning is also a guy I thought was going to be a major bust. He had a lot of interceptions his rookie year. I thought he was overrated because he come from Tennessee. Eve Schuller was a major bust. Peyton put the work in. He got the snaps in. He played, and he got better, and he's a Hall of Famer. I just think that just walking gingerly like this with these guys. If Jim Jeffcoat said this, if you're always worried about getting hurt, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
And I was saying yesterday, I wouldn't be a guy who holds out, especially if I enjoyed working with my teammate. I don't want to lose my rhythm. I don't want to get out of shape. I'd rather just play my contract out and say, you don't want me to somebody else that does, But that's the way I see it. What's your thoughts on Jackson Dart? I think he was a good processor too. He's a New York Giant. You're the MadNewYorker. Do you think he plays this year? Judged by that one game, he looks pretty comfortable there.
Yeah, I mean, I do not believe that he's going to play this year. I don't think that he should play this year. The best option would be just to keep him on a practice squad. They already have 2 quarterbacks that are Super Bowl winners, and they need to keep those guys on the bench and on the field because they know the expectations that was higher with those guys. Even if they're not the ones putting out the energy, they're at least putting out the attitude. And so, and winners beget more winners. So Jackson Dart ain't never won anything. And we don't need somebody on the field that's trying to win. We need somebody who knows how to win and who wants to win. And that's a different mentality from a quarterback stance and also from a player stance. So, and yes, I do understand that.
You wasn't impressed at all. It's just one game, but
yeah, I know Mr. Crablegs ain't really earned a Super Bowl, but he has won a Super Bowl as a backup. So, and been in Super Bowls. Huh?
Who's that? Who you talking about?
Crablegs. What's his name?
Winston?
Winston, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Winston. Yeah.
So, yeah. But again, the way these guys speak and how they walk and how and their attitude, you can tell that they've won something before. Even if some people say, "Oh, he ain't earned it," but he was on a Super Bowl winning team or a Super Bowl team, like.
Where was Winston on a Super Bowl team?
I'm sorry?
What team was he on?
Winston?
Well, I mean, Russell Wilson's their starting quarterback.
Yeah, well, he won't. He's an MVP. He's the MVP quarterback for Seattle.
Yeah, Wilson won a Super Bowl, but what if they're 2-4 or something like that, and Wilson may be banged up? You never know.
Yeah, I mean, if he get
Winston over Jackson Dart.
Yeah, definitely. Like Dart isn't. If they want Dart to be the future, he shouldn't be touching the NFL football field at all this year.
44 starts at Ole Miss,
especially with that O line they have. There's not a top rated O line. So I wouldn't do it. If they do it, that's on them. I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Sounds like you wasn't that impressed with it. I thought he did pretty well.
No, I mean, I can't say that he didn't play well.
Nothing.
But what I am saying is that the Giants don't have a good O-line. And so Russell Wilson
is supposed to be back at some point, though.
Yeah, but that Jameis Winston, these guys have been on teams with terrible O-line. So they're more likely know how to get rid of the ball and how to try to save their careers. You put Jackson Dart out there, he don't know nothing from nothing, man. Like he didn't have to fight for his career, so you don't put a guy like that on the who has with the O line like this on the field. I'm sorry, but if you do, you're naive, and then you shouldn't be a GM. So
want this team to lose out. You're already firing the ball, and you're already firing.
Well, yeah, definitely. I feel like Russell Wilson is gonna actually probably win the Giants 3 to 4 games, and I usually think that he can win a team 5 to 6 games, but he's getting older now, so on his own, like on just like trying to keep trying to stay in the game. But I don't think the Giants are gonna win more than 8 games this season. I just don't. So
okay. I think the defense is good. I think they're gonna be interesting, and yeah, 8 games that may be the tops out. It'd be interesting. I kind of like to see them. I don't kind of like to see. I think they will give Washington a game in week 1. That's week 1, but they do have a very hard schedule from what I understand.
Yeah, so Robert, here's my thing, and I've told people this, and I even wrote something about it. If the Giants were thinking about being in a top rated team this season, their defense would have to play like the Ravens defense played in 2002.
2000, yeah.
In 2000, like because
won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because they were averaging almost 14 points a game. Their defense.
Yeah.
So now again, I'm not expecting their defense to play like the 2001 Ravens, but if they do play like that, and they have enough, they have a few players on the offense that can do things, they'll be okay. But I just don't think the team is deep enough, and I don't think the offensive line is strong enough, and I don't think that they'll win more than 8 games. So that's what I'm looking at.
Okay, yeah. Any thoughts on Cam Ward here in Tennessee? I know he only had, again, everybody's playing scared to death. He plays 2 series. Looked good in that second series. I don't know if you got a chance to see any of that or even read the box score.
Yeah, no, I was watching some replays on the NFL TV, and look, what I like about Cam is that there's not a quarterback battle, and they don't have to think about anything that's going to hold them back. I like the young, fresh O-line that they have there. The only thing they're missing is a little bit of experience. I feel like they need to keep the gameplay simpler, just for Cam to get going, and then maybe start adding little kinks to it. But that team right there is maybe 9 wins. Again,
that's being optimistic, but some people are pretty high on them. But I don't know. I know Brian Baldinger, NFL Network, is pretty high on the play of Cam Ward.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't feel like he's going to be like a Daniels at all for this season. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I just not really don't know about their offense in general. They're a really hard team to get a feel for. I'm thinking maybe 6 wins, but I haven't broke down the whole season for them. They could be a sleeper. It's really tough, because there's no perfect team in this division.
Right.
Although I know there's some offensive line problems. It looks like maybe Houston, but Jags are having a very good camp as well. Brian Thomas, 1,000-yard plus receiver. They got a new head coach. They got Travis Hunter. They got a new general manager. They underachieved last year.
They certainly did underachieve. I feel like the Jags can have the same kind of year that Washington had.
That's true. And a lot of people are starting to mount up on Trevor Lawrence. I mean, dude, you're going to have to ball out, and you're going to have to play 17 games, man.
Yeah,
keep out of harm's way. Jeez.
Don't throw the interception at the end of the game. When don't try. You don't have to be trying that hard. You should be trying to win and keeping the ball safe, but you shouldn't be trying hard to win like that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your patience. Do you have anything else that you need to add? We'll kind of cut the show a little bit short since we had all that technical problems.
No, that's all right. I'm the Mets have been struggling. I'm finishing up this finish writing some of this podcast. I'm gonna try to get it done either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
Put something on, and I got a few interviews lined up for the next coming months.
Okay.
For that as well. And man, it's just been busy. This is the weekend that they had the World Championships for Pokemon. My son is not going to be attending it in California, but
He's not?
no, he's not. And they're going to a watch party locally. And
Okay.
so that ends the season for him as far as tournament play, and then he's going to turn over and start a new season in September.
He's learning a lot, though.
I'm sorry?
He's learning a lot. It's a good experience.
Yeah. Actually, next week, and next week he's going to do a tournament in Clarksville. So, he's going. We're going back to Tennessee, and I'll send you my schedule. Maybe we can do a show.
Yeah.
And,
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm trying to support him, trying to be there for him. It takes up a little bit of time, but that's there's no time like any time to be with your family, spend with your kids, man. They grow up quick too. So
yeah, it'll be fun for you know it.
Yeah, my son he's only 13, but he looks like he's 15, and then I'm just like, I don't want to treat him like a 15-year-old because he looks like one, but it's just like already in my head, I'm like, man, this kid's already like gonna be on his own in a few years, So
man.
Yeah, spending much time as a kid with him, and now I got a little one. She's turning 7 soon. So yeah,
When's
it's
birthday?
Her birthday's the 29th of August. It's coming up.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, a lot of summertime birthdays. I'm sorry.
That's right. Yeah. So it's if you got here's a tip for all you girl dads and all you fathers out there.
Happy birthday. You said 29th of August.
Man, we'll have a show before that. Just look, I don't give the best advice, but I do know something from what I've lived. The most time that you spend with somebody, whether they're your child or somebody you love, it's the only time you're gonna have with them.
Yeah.
And think about this before they go, right? So just cherish every moment that you
take with you is the relationships you make. What's your daughter's name? We'll give her early pre-shout out.
Oh, Amelia Chavez. Yeah, she's my little sunshine. I'm lucky. I got good kids, and we take care of them, and we got to bring them up, the right way. So, you got to do what you can for your kids, man.
Yeah, let's have a shout out for that. Woo, crowd loves that. That's well said there. Next week, hopefully, we'll be back on next week, man. I appreciate you coming by, and we'll see what happens with that Mets team. Teams go through lows and stuff. Are they still in the playoff hunt?
So right now they're in the playoff wild card hunt with the Reds. Okay. They're a couple games in front of the Reds.
How far are they mathematically out of it to win
No, they're not mathematically out of anything yet.
They're from Philadelphia.
Yeah, they're 4 games back.
All right.
But no, they're not out by all means, but I think they'll still be in the playoff hunt. It's just tough at this point of juncture. You only have a few weeks left in the season, and then it gets crazy. But you need to win. Like you need to win. You can't just be playing the games. You got to win the games. So
you play to win the game, Herm Edwards. Carlos MadNewYorker Chavez. A final shout out here. Appreciate your patience again, buddy. I'll see you next week, man. Thanks again for coming.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, buddy. Thanks.